Good evening, I'm Abhyuday Shrestha and these are the headlines of the hour. Prime Minister Pushpakamal Dahal expands the cabinet following agreement on distribution of ministries. 16 newly appointed ministers take oath today. Only 3 new faces in the cabinet. Nepali Congress makes efforts to form a new political equation after failing to sustain the alliance, holds talks with CPN Unified Socialist and Mother-centered parties. U.S. President Joe Biden and Donald Trump sweep the state primaries that were held on Super Tuesday, making a White House rematch between them even more likely. And government allocates 50 million rupees to the national cricket team for the T20 World Cup preparations. Cricket Association of Nepal says the decision has uplifted the spirit of the cricketers. Prime Minister Pushpakamal Dahal has expanded the cabinet after the ruling alliance parties reached an agreement regarding distribution of ministries earlier today. Premier Dahal formed the 20-member new Council of Ministers by including lawmakers from CPN-UML, CPN Maoist Center, Rashtriya Swatantra Party and CPN Unified Socialist. As per the agreement reached at the meeting held at the Prime Minister's official residence in Balwatar earlier today, CPN-UML claimed 8 ministries, CPN Maoist Center 5, Rashtriya Swatantra Party 4, and CPN Unified Socialist also bagged 2 ministries. CPN Unified Socialist decided to join the government at the 11th hour today. President Ramchandra Paudel administered the oath of office in secrecy to the newly appointed ministers at the official residence of the President Sheetal Niwas in Maharajganj earlier this evening. CPN Maoist Center's Naran Kaji Shrestha has been handed the responsibility of the Deputy Prime Minister and Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Barsaman Pun, the Ministry of Finance, Shakti Basnet, Ministry of Energy, Rekha Sharma, Ministry of Communications and Information Technology, while Hit Bahadur Tamang is the Minister for Culture, Tourism and Civil Aviation. Likewise, from CPN-UML, Raghubir Maset is the Deputy Prime Minister and Fiscal Infrastructure Minister, Padam Giri, the Law Minister, Hari Upreti, Defense Minister, Bhagwati Chaudhary, Women and Children Minister, Rajendra Rai, Drinking Water Minister, Damodar Bhandari, Industry Minister, Jwala Kumari Shah, Agriculture Minister, and Balaram Adhikari has been given the responsibility of the Ministry of Land Management. Likewise, from Rashtriya Swatantra Party, Chairperson of the party, Ravi Lamichhane, has been handed the responsibility of Deputy Prime Minister and Home Minister, while Dol Prasad Aryal is the Labour and Employment Minister, Biraj Bhakta Shrestha, the Youth and Sports Minister, and Sumana Shrestha, the Education Minister. Likewise, CPN Unified Socialists Bhanu Bhakta Joshi is the new Minister for Federal Affairs and Dhanabadur Buddha, the Urban Development Minister. Meanwhile, Janata Samajwadi Party, which was a part of the ruling alliance, has decided not to join the government after being dissatisfied with the ministries it received. Prime Minister Pushpakamal Dahal has formed a 20-member Council of Ministers with 3 new faces. First-time ministers are Sumana Shrestha and Biraj Bhakta Shrestha from Rashtriya Swatantra Party and Balaram Adhikari from CPN-UML. Sumana Shrestha has bagged the Ministry of Education and Biraj Bhakta's Ministry of Youth and Sports. Likewise, CPN-UML lawmaker Balaram Adhikari has been assigned the responsibility of land management, cooperatives and poverty alleviation. The remaining faces have previously served as ministers. 3 of the 5 that became ministers from CPN Maoist Center have been continued from the recent cabinet. Energy Minister Shakti Bahadur Basnet and Communications Minister Rekha Sharma assumed the same offices. Naran Kaji Shrestha was shifted from the Home Ministry to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Barsaman Pun has been appointed the Minister for Finance and Hit Bahadur Tamang the Minister for Tourism. Pun had previously served at the same ministry during the prime ministerial tenure of Baburam Bhattarai in 2011. Tamang was in the Ministry of Youth and Sports back then. Likewise, 7 of the 8 ministers from CPN-UML are old faces. Deputy Prime Minister and Minister for Fiscal Infrastructure Raghubir Maset has been minister on several occasions in the past. Newly appointed Minister for Law, Justice and Parliamentary Affairs Padam Giri has served as the Minister for Health last year for 2 months. Likewise, Hari Upreti, Bhagwati Chaudhary, Rajendra Rai, Damodar Bhandari, and Jwala Kumari Shah have also served as ministers before. Deputy Prime Minister and Minister for Home Affairs Ravi Lamichhane served at the post last year for 32 days. He resigned after his citizenship certificate caught controversy. Likewise, Dol Prasad Aryal has been assigned the same Ministry of Labor that he served last year. From CPN Unified Socialist, Bhanubhakta Joshi has been appointed the Minister for Federal Affairs and Dhanabadur Buddha the Minister for Urban Development. Both have previously served as ministers. It's now time for our segment Public Pulse, where you text us with your opinion.
Public Pulse.
But before that, let's take a look at the results from yesterday's poll. Yesterday, we had asked you, what's your take on the impacts at the provinces of change in ruling equation at the center? 38% voted for A, depreciation of federalism, 21% for B, dependency on the center, and 41% for C, normal for party-based system. And here's today's question. What should be the priorities of the newly appointed ministers? Your options are A, curb corruption, B, make service delivery effective, and C, development and prosperity. The voting is on. Type NEWS, select your option A, B, or C, and send it to 34001 to share your opinion with us. Nepali Congress President Sher Bahadur Deuba has been agitated as Prime Minister Pushpakamal Dahal broke the partnership to form a new government and has begun legworks to include parties that have yet to join the ruling coalition. Today, Sher Bahadur Deuba, along with his wife Arju and leader Ramesh Lekhak, met with the chair of CPN Unified Socialist for the same. The party has claimed the talks ended on a positive note. However, CPN Unified Socialist has already joined hands with the Dahal-led government. Today, Deuba also held meetings with chairperson of Loktantrik Samajwadi Party that has 4 lawmakers at the parliament and leaders of Janmat that has 6 lawmakers and Nagrik Unmukti Party that has 4 lawmakers. Currently, the 5 parties in the ruling alliance have a power of 152 lawmakers. Rashtriya Prajatantra Party, with 14 lawmakers, has decided against joining the government. Nepali Congress, meanwhile, has 87 lawmakers. CPN Unified Socialist has 10 lawmakers. Other fringe parties and independent candidates make up for 6 seats at the House of Representatives. Deuba is now looking to include parties that have remained indecisive about joining the government and take CPN Unified Socialist into confidence. If he succeeds, he will manage the support of 131 lawmakers, which still falls short of the 138 lawmakers needed to form a government. Deuba has already served as the Prime Minister 5 times, and political analysts say there are chances that he would prove an obstruction to Prime Minister Pushpakamal Dahal. Premier Dahal, meanwhile, will need to take the vote of confidence in 30 days. Chairperson of Rashtriya Prajatantra Party, Rajendra Lingden, has said that his party will not be a part of power-centered political gambits. Speaking at a program organized today to inform about the party's protests, Chairperson Lingden stated that the need for protest for the benefit of the people has increased. Lingden also said that until the behavior of politicians does not change, there is no meaning in change in leadership. Police have arrested the coordinator of the Struggle Committee of Victims of Loan Sharks, Abhidesh Kushwaha, along with 13 others, as they were staging a protest in front of the Prime Minister's residence in Balwatar today. The victims of loan sharks that have been camping in the capital's Prikruti Mandap were to group at Balwatar today. However, police contained them at Prikruti Mandap. Kushwaha and a few other victims had reached Balwatar as security personnel did not let the groups leave the place. The Supreme Court has issued a verdict to clear the dues of dairy farmers at the earliest. Justice Til Prasad Shrestha handed the verdict in the writ filed by advocates Punya Prasad Khatiwada and Deepak Bikram Mishra. The Apex Court also directed to resolve other problems faced by the dairy farmers. According to the statistics of the Dairy Development Board, the dairy farmers have yet to receive dues of more than 1 billion rupees. In our Public Voice segment today, we have asked people in several provinces what they think of the delay in development projects. Let's take a look at what they had to say.
अनि उनीहरुलाई चाहिँ कालो सूचीमा राख्नु पर्यो के ताकि उनीहरुले चाहिँ अर्को चोटी त्यस्तो ठग काम गर्नै नपाउन्
सरकार जनताप्रति फिटिकै पनि उत्तरदायी छैन आफ्नो स्वार्थ पूर्तिमा मात्रै सरकार केन्द्रित छ भन्ने कुराको स्पष्ट उदाहरण
बजेट निष्कासन समयमा गर्दिनु पर्यो
काम गर्ने ठेकेदारलाई चाहिँ पुरस्कार दिनु पर्दछ पुरस्कृत गर्नु पर्दछ नगर्नेलाई चाहिँ दण्ड जरिवाना गर्नुपर्छ
ठेकेदारको धेरै लापरवाही छ यसको लागि माथि केन्द्रबाट हुन्छ कि प्रदेशबाट हुन्छ कि माथिबाट दबाव दिएर मात्र यो ठेकेदारलाई चाहिँ अलिकति सचेत गराउनु पर्ने आवश्यक छ
मनोमानी विकृति फैलिरहेको छ यसमा सरकारको नियमनकारी भूमिका हुनुपर्छ
योजना कार्यालयहरुमा कर्मचारीहरुलाई अलि लामो समयसम्म टिकाइराख्नु पर्यो
टाइममा भुक्तानी नपाएको कारणले के हुन्छ ठेकेदारहरुले पनि काम नगरेर होला
कमिसनको कारणले त्यही धेरै लापरवाही गर्छ त्यो चेक समय पैसा दिँदैन पेमेन्ट दिँदैन
ठेकेदारलाई समयमा पैसा नपाएर तिनीहरू ढिलो गर्न
सरकारको ठुलो कमजोरी हो यो सरकार आफै जिम्मेवारी हुनुपर्छ
कुनै पनि सरकार अस्थिर ढंगले टिक्न सकिरहेको छैन अब योजना ल्याउँछ एउटा सरकारले अब त्यसको पालोमा त्यो पुरा काम पूर्ण हुन सकेको छैन अर्को सरकार आइहाल्छ
It's time now for the international update. U.S. President Joe Biden and former President Donald Trump swept the state primaries that were held on Super Tuesday yesterday, making a White House rematch between them even more likely. Biden won Democratic nominating contests in 14 states, plus Iowa, where people voted by post, but lost in the territory American Samoa by 11 votes. The two men looked ahead to their likely rematch by trading insults after their wins were confirmed. Trump said the U.S. would no longer have a country if his opponent won the election, while Biden accused him of being driven by grievance, not the good of Americans. Meanwhile, Nikki Haley will be suspending her presidential bid. Trump won 14 Republican contests, further cementing his strong overall lead over Haley, though she secured a surprise win in Vermont. Victorious candidates are being awarded delegates, of which they need a certain number to get their party's official nod to run for president. Immigration and the economy were the key issues for Republican voters questioned in CBS exit polls in Virginia and North Carolina. We have more news coming up, but right now it's time for another short break. It's time now for the sports news.
Sports news.
The government has decided to allocate 50 million rupees to the national cricket team for preparations for the upcoming T20 World Cup. The T20 World Cup is being held in the United States of America and the West Indies this June. Cricket Association of Nepal CAN President Chatur Bahadur Chand and Secretary Paras Khadka have said that the government's decision has been a historic one. When Prime Minister Pushpakamal Dahal had reached the Tribhuvan University cricket ground in Kantipur to watch the World Cup qualifiers final, he had asked CAN its requirements. In response, CAN said that a big amount was needed for World Cup preparations. Right after the conclusion of the World Cup qualifiers, CAN had given a presentation to the government regarding the expenses for World Cup preparations. CAN had demanded for more money than the government decided to allocate. Meanwhile, CAN President Chand has said that the decision to provide 50 million rupees for World Cup preparations has exhibited the government's priority to cricket and has also uplifted the spirit of the cricketers. Nepal had defeated the United Arab Emirates in the Asia qualifiers on home ground to book a spot in the World Cup for the second time. Nepal had debuted in the T20 World Cup held in Bangladesh in 2014. Cricketers are also expecting to soon receive the prize money from the government for qualifying for the World Cup. The National Sports Council had proposed to the government to hand 1.3 million rupees in prize money to each cricketer. In the T20 World Cup, Nepal will play against South Africa, Netherlands, Sri Lanka and Bangladesh, who are all in Group D. Nepal will then face Sri Lanka and Netherlands in the United States, while the matches against South Africa and Bangladesh will be played in the West Indies. Two Champions League pre-quarterfinal second leg matches are scheduled for early tomorrow morning after midnight tonight. That's all for the moment. Thank you for watching. Good night.